Hello everybody, it's me, the Italian Gamer Joe, and welcome to another stream. This afternoon, I am streaming a story that I wrote back in college. And what I decided to do, because I think this is going to be really fun, I am going to start streaming choose your own adventure stories that are from a website called chooseyourstory.com. And one of the reasons why I want to stream these stories is because I love to read. And in my personal opinion, choose your own adventure stories are some of my favorite types of stories because they are like playing video games. That is one of the reasons why I love reading, especially choose your own adventure stories, because it's the opportunity to read a book but then make a choice. And that's what I love about these types of stories. And you can read them on your phone, you can read them on your e-reader, on a tablet. And one of the reasons why I'm reading this, by the way, this is an original story that I wrote back in 2015. Holy shit, back in 2015. The story is called Before Midnight, and I made this story back in 2015. Oh my god, back in 2015. Since then, it's been read 25,701 times. My story has been read 25,701 times, and it's completely free. I should have released this as like a Kindle book or something. But yeah, it came out back in 2015, and the story itself is a college-themed story. And I'm going to go ahead and read the synopsis of what I wrote. Why does your composition and rhetoric professor have to assign a 10-page paper due by the end of the week at midnight? Of course, you procrastinate your way through the week to Friday night. It's 7 o'clock p.m., only 5 hours until the paper is due. No exceptions. You open your laptop and begin typing until the power goes out. Adventure your way through strict RAs, bug infestations, wild frat parties, and more in this all-new story game. So this is a story video game that I made back in 2015 while I was in college. And since then, it's been played 25,000 times. This is a story that was played 25,000 times, which I think is crazy, by the way. Some of the reviews are really great too. A lot of people wrote some really good reviews. Wow, I'm really impressed. Very well done. I don't usually play school-based story games. This one caught me by surprise. So good. I even found the secret ending. Fantastic game with a good ending and relatively easy to get. Loved all the endings. Really fun. Great job. Well written. It was really nice. Really enjoyable. So it makes me really happy to see that my story was getting a lot of positive credit, and there was a lot of people that were coming in and truly enjoying the ride of the story that I wrote. And this was back in 2015. And I still can't believe that I got 25,000. I mean, that, holy shit. What makes story games like this really cool, though, is that you're not just writing a story, there's also game mechanics. You can hold inventory items. The Choose Your Story website is actually really cool because you can make story-based games that can, like I said, that you have an inventory system, you have a score system. There's so many cool things. And what I want to start doing is just once a week, I'm going to start reading stories on my stream because I love to read. Reading is one of my favorite hobbies, and it's something that I really, really enjoy. And some of my favorite stories are choose your own adventure stories. And you can read choose your own adventure stories on your phone, on your tablet, on your computer, on an e-reader, like an e-ink e-reader. Hi, Kelly Lily. Yeah, you're right. I'm going to stream again tonight. This is just a stream that I'm excited to do. I know that not a lot of people may find this exciting, but the way I'm going to do this is that I'm going to narrate the story, And what I'm planning to do is release this as a YouTube video, and I'll have my own collection of narrated YouTube stories that you could listen to and hear my commentary. This is an original story that I wrote, and I'm really excited to give the opportunity to share this story on my stream. And if people ever want to listen to it again, they can hear the original author narrate this story. Hey, Candy Girl. So I'm going to read this synopsis one more time before I start the story. And if you have to leave for whatever reason, don't worry. The stream will be up on YouTube, and you can re-listen to it whenever you want. If you also want to play the story outside of the YouTube or the Twitch stream, I'll send the link on the Discord. You go to chooseyourstory.com, and then the story is called Before Midnight. Sounds like a great way to make some interesting content, especially since it's your own story. Exactly. And I made this back in 2015, and since then, over 25,000 people have played it. And I've gotten some really great reviews from it back in the day. Like, I wrote this when I was in college. I'll read the synopsis one more time. Why does your composition and rhetoric professor have to assign a 10-page paper due by the end of the week at midnight? Of course you procrastinate your way through the week to Friday night. It's 7 o'clock p.m., only 5 hours until the paper is due, no exceptions. You open your laptop and begin typing until the power goes out. Adventure your way through strict RAs, bug infestations, wild frat parties, and more in this all-new story game. I'm probably going to lurk because I'm doing some Chinese... No problem, Kelly. Thanks for being here. I really appreciate that. And like I said, I'm under the full impression that this is not like a full-blown game, so it may not be exciting, and I want this to be more like just a relaxed, chill stream. I will stream again tonight, something different, but this is something I'm going to start doing once a week. And like I said, I really enjoy reading, and I would love to get the opportunity to do some reading and actual some fun choose your own adventure stories. So once a week, I'm going to be starting to read choose your own adventure stories, probably on Saturday afternoons. I think it's a great way to increase awareness of choose your own adventure stories and just how powerful and fun they are. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm so excited because this is an original story I wrote. So I have it zoomed in really big so that way it's easier to read. And let's just jump right in. Okay. It's Friday night, 6:30 p.m., Bridgeport University, a fictional university. You find yourself standing outside your college dorm hall. All of your friends are complaining about your composition and rhetoric professor. He assigned a 10-page paper on Monday. The paper is due tonight by midnight. Did you get it done? You hear your friends asking each other. Oh, totally. I had to get it done to go to the wild-ass frat party tonight, another one responds. Hell yeah, we're gonna get wasted. You sigh at the thought of not being able to go to a college frat party. Why couldn't the paper have been due by Saturday morning? Why midnight? Do professors sit by their computers with a hot cup of tea, awaiting their submissions to read overnight? Or do they get together with other professors and read the papers together? You digress. Fumbling for your keys, you go into your single dorm room. The dorm hall is co-ed, but luckily nothing too crazy goes on around here. You flick on the light switch and walk over to your bed. You lay down and look at the ceiling. If you fall asleep now, you will definitely not get this paper done. You get up from the bed and walk over to your desk. Bzzz. You can hear your smartphone vibrating. You pick it up and check the notifications menu. It looks like your friend Nick wants to know if you're going to the party tonight. Are you going to the party tonight? It's going to be awesome, Nick texts. I don't think I'm going to the party. I have a huge paper to write, and it's due in a few hours, you reply. Nick takes some time to type his message. He eventually sends a bunch of sad faces. You put your phone down and angrily open your laptop. Looks like you better start typing this paper. So you have two choices. The first choice is to open Microsoft Word, and the second choice is the author's note, which we're going to skip. It's basically just me explaining how the story works and that it's a choose your own adventure story. You can collect inventory objects. Notice the variable here called pages. So unlike traditional choose your own adventure stories, this story doesn't have random endings. It just has branching paths that can increase or decrease your pages. So let's go ahead and open Word. You sit at your desk and open your laptop. It takes a couple of seconds for the thing to boot up. When the desktop loads, you launch Microsoft Word and begin typing away. ENGLI-1101, Composition and Rhetoric, Reflection Paper, Professor Blake. Once you type the heading, you tilt your head back and glance at your watch. 7 o'clock? How am I going to be done with this paper in 5 hours? You let out a sigh of frustration and lift your head. Grabbing your headphones from your pocket, you slip them into your ears. Maybe these will help. Moving your mouse over to Spotify, you start playing instrumental jazz and begin your journey through paper BS land. After about 5 minutes, you manage to get one double-spaced page done. Yes! Quickly, you hit Control S to save. Bzzz. Suddenly, the lights and electronics around you go out. Your laptop turns off. What just happened? Your dorm room is pitch black and you can't see anything. Quickly, you pull out your smartphone from your pocket and switch on the flash, illuminating the room. You stumble several times, but eventually make your way to the door. The college dorm hall is in complete darkness. You hear the sound of girls screaming and guys laughing. You see your RA, Peter, stomping down the hallway. What's going on? You ask him. Just go back to your room. The power is out right now. No one is allowed to leave. But I have a 10-page paper to finish. Peter shrugs his shoulders. I'm sorry, but I can't help you there. He keeps walking down the hallway, eventually getting swallowed by the abyss of darkness. You sigh and head back to your desk to turn on your laptop. You find it strange that your laptop turned off with the power outage, especially since your battery is in pretty good condition. Maybe the power outage caused some weird electrical impulse to surge through your laptop and crash the system? Perhaps you clicked on something you weren't supposed to. What if you caused the power outage? Nevertheless, you boot up the desktop and search for your paper. Uh-oh, the paper didn't save. It looks like you'll have to start all over again. You feel your inner primate sense wanting to throw the laptop across the wall. Your laptop's battery is at 60%, so ideally, you do have more than a couple hours without power to go. You try to brainstorm ideas on what to do now. Important choice. Do you risk leaving the dorm to get your paper done, or do you stay here and wait for the power to go back on? So important choices in my story are basically like huge choices that can severely branch out the story in different directions. So if you decide to read my story on Choose Your Story's website and you get to this point, or whenever you get to an important choice, these are huge branching paths, and none of them cause game overs. They just really change the course of the story. I'm going to go ahead and pick stay in the dorm and wait for the power to go back on. The playthrough I'm going to do is ideally the 10-page route, but if you want to explore the fun choices, we can do that too another time. But for now, I'm going to stick to doing like the main route. So I'm going to stay in the dorm and wait for the power to go on. You've decided to stay in the dorm and wait for the power to go back on. The dark doesn't scare you. Opening your laptop, you go back to Microsoft Word and start typing your paper again. Your laptop battery happens to be at 50%, which should be good enough for a couple of hours. You hope. With the power being out in your dorm, you realize how quiet the place really is. All you can hear is the sound of crickets chirping. Occasionally you'll hear Peter, your dorm RA, pacing back and forth in the hallway. Other than that, it's the most peaceful place you've ever encountered it to be. After about half an hour, you finish your paper. Well, you finish the first page of your paper. Way to go! Pages increased by 1. Knock, knock, knock. Looks like someone is at the door. Quickly, you save your paper and walk over to the knocking sound. Who's there? You ask calmly. It's Peter, the RA. You hear Peter's voice from the outside of the door. He sounds like he's been breathing heavily. You open the door and are attacked by a wave of bright lights. My eyes! You shout loudly. Peter moves his phone from your face. Oh crap, I'm sorry. Didn't think you'd open the door that fast. How's the power situation coming along? You ask him. From what you can see through the abyss of complete darkness, save for Peter's lighthouse of a phone's camera flash, Peter sighs and rests his back on the wall next to your door. It looks like the power situation is going to be much worse than we thought. I'm coming by to let people know that they can leave the dorms for now. As it turns out, however, people are sneaking out. Little do they know, they're going to get quite the write-up when they get back. You sigh in relief that Peter can't see your pale face in the dorm hallway. Good thing you didn't risk sneaking out of the dorm. Anyway, I really appreciate that you listened to me. After all, safety comes first. With that, Peter walks away, allowing you to leave your dorm. You step back inside your room and grab your belongings. Good thing you at least got another page done. With your laptop battery on the verge of dying, you figure finding someplace else to do your paper would be the best course of action. You step outside, lock your door, and make your way to the staircase to the exit. Our current page count is 1. Fork in the sidewalk. The smell of freshly cut grass, the sound of crickets chirping in the night, the crescent moon in the sky. It feels good to be free from that dorm room. You make your way along the path and come to a fork in the sidewalk. On one side, you have a peaceful-looking bench in the college park. You suppose you could get a page of your paper done there. The weather is pretty warm for a Friday, and you don't recall seeing the rain in the weather's forecast. On the other side, there's a way to the campus library. The campus library could be a pretty relaxing place to get your work done as well. And it has power. Decisions. We're going to go to the park bench instead of the school library. If you want to play the game yourself, you can check out the school library, but we're going to switch over to the park bench. You make your way to the park bench and sit down. Surrounding the bench are several oak trees. You can hear the sound of an owl from high up above. Hoo-hoo, hoo-hoo. Unzipping your backpack, you pull out your laptop and continue typing your paper. The relaxation of being outside clears your mind, and you manage to take out another page of your paper along the way. Pages increased by 1, so now we're at 2 pages. You're about to begin another page of your paper when you see Nick coming by. Hello, and how might you be doing on this fine night? Nick says as he sits down on the bench next to you. You proceed to tell Nick about the power going out in your dorm. That's crazy. I can't believe that something like that could happen here. It's not even storming or anything either. You nod in agreement at Nick's observation. Perhaps it wasn't a storm, but instead a crazy college scheme that caused the power to go out. Whatever the case may be, you have a paper to finish. Nick pulls out his phone and starts scrolling through it. I've been seeing the craziest Snapchats of the frat party tonight. Did you finish your paper so we can go? You look at Nick, eyes gleaming at his phone in excitement. As far as you know, Nick doesn't have too many friends, and he's been so animate on wanting you to go to this party with him. You look at your laptop page count and then back at him. Maybe going to the party for an hour will alleviate some stress. It's not like you'll be there the whole night. What's the worst that can happen? On the other hand, what if Nick gets drunk? You'll end up spending the rest of the night watching him and making sure he doesn't do anything stupid. Or you could just tell Nick that you haven't finished the paper yet and need to get it done. That frat party does sound pretty cool though. Important choice. Do you tell Nick the truth that your paper isn't finished yet, or do you lie to Nick and tell him that you finished the paper? So again, this is a very important choice because it can branch out the story in 2 crazy directions, and it can really cause like drama if you lie versus if you tell the truth. So if you decide to play the story on the website, you're more than welcome to try your own choices, but this is a very interesting branching choice because it really affects how the story gets told. Oh my gosh, thank you so much, boss. I really appreciate that. I like turtles. Welcome to the stream. By the way, just in case, just a reminder for any of you viewers out here, this is an original story that I wrote. It's a choose your own adventure story that I wrote back in 2015. And since then, my original choose your own adventure story has seen 25,000 views. 25,000 people have read my story, and they've given me tons of commendations and reviews. So for me, this is a good opportunity to be able to read it on stream and give people the opportunity to read it and listen to it. And once a week from now on, I'm going to start reading choose your own adventure stories on stream. And if you don't have to stay here if it's something you're not in the mood to watch, but I will upload this to YouTube. And if you ever want to listen to like an audiobook, a choose your own audiobook from your favorite Italian streamer, definitely check it out on my Twitch, on my YouTube VODs. For me, this is going to be a really cool, like, once a week situation where I read original content from myself that I've written, and also talented authors on the Choose Your Story website. You can find this story at chooseyourstory.com for free. So what we're going to do is we're going to tell Nick the truth and tell him that we did not finish the paper. So we're going to tell Nick the truth. If you want to tell Nick a lie and tell him that you did finish the paper, you're more than welcome to go to the Choose Your Story website and make that choice and see how crazy things get. But for now, we're going to do the truth route. My story, this is an original story that I wrote. Like I said, I wrote it back in 2015. You're more than welcome to go and check out those other choices. All right. Nick, I haven't finished the paper yet. I really want to go to this frat party, but if I don't get this done, I could fail the class. Nick looks at you with disappointment. What did I tell you about procrastinating? I know. You look down and nod. It just leads to more stress. I mean, look at you. I know. You shrug your shoulders. It's part of me. It's part of my DNA. Nick lets out a sarcastic laugh. Yeah, and so is laziness. Hey, I have an idea. What's that, you ask him. Come with me back to the dorm and finish the paper there. My dorm still has power. When you finish the paper, we can go to the frat party. Your eyes widen in excitement. Really? You do that for me? Nick puts his hand on your shoulder. Of course. So this is not an important choice. It's more of like an optional choice. Your character in my story is gender ambiguous. So like you could be a guy reading the story, you can be a girl reading the story, you could be a queer person reading the story. It doesn't matter what your gender is, but what I wanted to do was either give the player the opportunity to romance Nick or give the player the opportunity to be Nick's friend. In this situation, we're going to romance Nick just because it's fun. And if you want to be Nick's friend, you can always go back to the Choose Your Story website and try that choice. But we're going to romance him. So we just told him, Nick, I could kiss you right now. Nick is surprised by your flirty comment. He gets up from the bench and motions you to go with him. Well, we will be in my dorm room where we could have some privacy, he winks at you. Scandalous. Just kidding. You find yourself blushing at Nick's attempt at flattery as well. For once, you seem to really notice his dark tan skin, bulging biceps, and spiky hair. The thought of really kissing him gives you uneasy feelings. Will Ferrell's quote, "Well, that escalated quickly," comes to mind. Who knows? You've known Nick for several months now. Maybe a date with him isn't such a bad idea. Hello? Anyone there? Nick waves his hand in your face, breaking your thoughts. Sorry, you apologize quickly. Let's go to your dorm room. So now we're going to go to Nick's dorm. Nick gets up, and soon you trail along with him. The both of you walk across the way from the school library, past the campus fountain, all the way over to the apartment-style housing. You both approach a security door. Nick waves his keycard and unlocks it, allowing you both access to the inside of the building. You follow Nick up 2 floors and down to the hall to his room. After you, Nick says as he lets you inside. The apartment-style housing is much better than the dorm you have, featuring 2 bedrooms, a full kitchen, dining area, and an entertainment room. Nick seems to be really living it up in college. Nick takes you through the entertainment area to his room. He walks inside past you and flips on the light switch. You can plug your laptop on my desk over there. You nod and walk over to his desk. On top of it, you see a giant mammoth-sized laptop. What brand is this? You ask while pointing to the brick of a computer. Nick looks at his laptop and laughs. That right there is my baby, featuring an Intel M processor, 16 gigabytes of RAM, 256 gigabytes of solid-state storage, an NVIDIA graphics card with dedicated storage, dual fans for maximum cooling, and the new update of Windows 10. You turn around and look back at the giant computer, trying to imagine Nick lugging that thing to class with him. You shake your head, not wanting to think about this, and focus on your paper instead. Nick walks over to bed and lies down. He plugs in his phone and pulls out his tablet. You look over at him. Is that your baby too, you joke? Nick caresses his tablet like a child. Yes, they are all my babies. Jokes aside, you decide to pull out your laptop and start getting your paper done. So we're going to continue typing. A half hour passes. You look at the time, 8:30. Only 3.5 hours left until your paper is due. Luckily for you, another page is done. The bad news, this paper is taking a lot longer than you expected. Pages increase by 1. You turn around to see what Nick is up to. Shirt off, completely in boxers, the guy is passed out on his bed. Feeling bad, you put a blanket over him and continue with your paper. So you could make a really bold choice here where you can cuddle with Nick and romance him, or you can continue with your paper. If you cuddle with him, that means you're like going all in on the romance route with him. And if you continue with your paper, then you're going more on the friendship route with him. So this is not an important choice. It's an optional choice. But if you want Nick to be your boyfriend at some point, that is a good, that you then go all in on the cuddling and like, you know, romance him. If you just want to be his friend, then continue writing the paper. It's more of just like okay, what do you want to do? Do you want to romance this guy, or do you want to just, we're going to go ahead and romance him just for the hell of it. And if you want to be his friend, then that's fine too, but we're going to just play around with the story and romance him. It doesn't get like crazy or anything though. This isn't like, you know, it's not that crazy. So no like crazy sexual stuff going on here. It's just simple. You decide to grab the blanket and get in bed with Nick. You feel his body up against yours. You then feel him wake up and turn around. When I said privacy, I wasn't expecting this. He smiles at you and puts his arm around your shoulder to cuddle. You can feel the hairs of his arm on your face as you lie comfortably on his bed. Did you finish your paper yet? Nick asks curiously. You can tell that he's genuinely concerned about it now. No, I didn't get it done yet. I might not get it done for a while. Are you sure you don't want to go to the frat party without me? Nick grabs you and pulls you closer to his body. I'm sure. After all, I'd rather be here. Oh my god, I can't read. I'm sure. After all, I'd rather be right here with you instead. You can feel your heartbeat faster at the thought of kissing Nick. Then reality hits you, and you realize that if you do anything with him right now, chances are midnight will come a lot sooner than you think. Slowly, you move Nick's grasp off your body and get out of his bed. Bed's open for you anytime. Nick turns around and goes back to sleep. You head back to the desk and tip away your paper. So that's kind of like the all-in with Nick scenario. We're going to let this page... My page is just loading still. Okay. You continue your trek through paper BS land. Actually, the paper is quite good. Over the course that you've been doing it, you've managed to get several decent sources. You make sure to save every couple minutes just in case the power goes out in Nick's dorm. Another half hour, you finish another page. Pages increased by 1. So we're currently at 4 pages. Candy Girl, romance. Frat party notification. Bzzz. You hear the sound of Nick's phone vibrating. He turns around from the bed and picks it up. He unlocks the screen and starts typing into it. Holy crap, we need to go to this party! Why? What's so special about it now? Nick hands you his phone. Alpha Sigma Phi is hosting the largest party of the year, and guess who's going to be there? Who? The Robotic Otters! Robotic Otters is a new pop group that has taken the world by storm through YouTube. Every one of their videos has reached over 1 million views. The fact that Alpha Sigma Phi could score a music group like this is mind-boggling. We need to go! Nick pulls on his clothes and drags you off his desk chair. But what about my paper? Nick stops and thinks, well, maybe the frat house will have a place that you can do your paper in. They have free Wi-Fi. The thought of you finishing your paper in a frat party scares you. After all, what if your laptop gets beer or worse spilled onto it? You glance at your page count and look at Nick. You can see his puppy dog eyes. No, not the puppy dog eyes. Please. Please. All right, fine. The two of you leave Nick's apartment and make your way to the Alpha Sigma Phi frat party. Pages is 4. Welcome to the Alpha Sigma Phi party! Nick and you make your way to the fraternity house. The house itself is practically a mansion on the outside, featuring well over 10 bedrooms and bathrooms, a pool and gym area, entertainment center, spa, and garden. This is the place to be if you're in Greek life. As you approach the front of the house, you see several groups of people doing cake stands, guys streaking across the yard, people taking selfies with selfie sticks on the porch, and beach balls flying in the air. The sound of today's pop music can be heard from miles away, getting louder and louder with each step you take. You could feel your heart pulsing through your body, adrenaline rising. You have never been to a frat party before. How awesome is this? Nick screams at you as he turns around and makes his way to the front porch. When you finally squeeze past several crowds, you step past the front door. Inside, the frat house is bustling with people. An army of solo cups have invaded the entire mansion, on the floor, in the hands of guests, on the stairs, and some even hanging across the chandelier. You cower your head, hoping that a cup of beer doesn't fly down and hit your face, or worse, your laptop. When you look back down again, you suddenly realize that you lost Nick. Nick, you shout. You look around the foyer. All you see are crowds of unfamiliar faces. It looks like you'll have to do some exploring through this party to find him. Then again, you could also find some decent spots to type your paper while looking for him as well. Pages is 4. So one of the cool things about this part of the story is that you have free reign to explore the mansion however you want. And there is a true and tried way to find Nick, but my suggestion at this part of the story is just explore the mansion, have fun exploring it. There's choices, but the choices like loop. They like branch back to themselves. And they do that on purpose because you're trying to seek knowledge and more papers to help you. So we're gonna go down the list and explore all the locations in the mansion and hopefully get some more pages of our paper done. So let's go to the kitchen. You make your way past several tipsy girls, wasted men, and more solo cups. Eventually, you make your way into the mansion's kitchen. The kitchen itself is massive, featuring a large countertop island with stools, 2 stainless steel refrigerators, an industrial stove, and cooking stations. Holding trays of gourmet food, several chefs push past you. "We are on a shortage of solo cups," you hear a chef shout out from the entrance. "Here, take this bag," a female chef shouts back to the guy. She hurls a large plastic bag of solo cups across the room. The bag flies into the air and crashes on the floor, bursting open. Ah, crap. You help the chef clean up the solo cups. "Thanks for helping me. It's time to bring these to the bar. Here, you can have one if you want." The chef leaves an empty solo cup on the counter. He then turns around and goes. "You don't intend on drinking tonight. Should you take the cup?" "We're not going to take the cup. We're just going to go back to the main hall. If you take the cup, a story situation happens that locks you into a certain path, but we're not going to do that. Let's go to the entertainment area. "Nick, are you in here?" You shout as you walk down the hallway to the entertainment complex. The area of this part of the mansion is huge. One end of the room, you see people in the home theater watching a TV show. Most of them are couples making out. Your turn. You turn to head to the other side of the room and see a bunch of people playing billiards and bowling. A bowling alley in this frat house? How come you didn't join this Greek organization? But where could Nick be? So let's go and check out these areas. Let's go to the movie theater. You walk over to the home movie theater area. As you suspected, most of the people here are couples making out. "Nick!" you whisper. There's no response. You try looking for his dark spiky hair, but no sign. You're about to turn around when you see a group of girls chatting amongst themselves. "Are you getting drunk tonight?" "Drunk," you hear one of them say. "No way. I have a biology practical tomorrow. I'm just here because my boyfriend wants to see the robotic otters. I have no clue who they are. I heard the bouncers require that you have to have a drink in your hand in order to get inside the concert." You shudder at the thought of trying to get Nick out of the concert. If he is in there, you'd have to get drunk too. "That's why I have this." You see one of the girls take out a box of bottles. "There's water in these bottles. The bouncers won't even know the difference." So we're going to ask the girls for a bottle. "Excuse me, I couldn't help but overhear that you're filling water in those beer bottles." The girls turn around and look at you. They cross their arms defensively. "Yeah, what's it to you?" "I was, just wondering if I could have one." They smile and laugh at your request. $25 and it's all yours." "Well, there goes my gas money." You begrudgingly take out your wallet and hand over the cash. "A deal is a deal." The girls hand you over a glass beer bottle. "So it's just water in here?" you ask the group. "Yep, should be enough to get you inside the stage area." You thank the girls and head on your way. You feel cheated for the price you paid. At least people won't fill your cup. So now my game has an inventory system. So as you can see here, this becomes an actual item you can use, but we're not going to use it yet. We're going to go back. We're going to go to the bowling alley real quick and see what's over there. That's a strike. You walk over to the bowling alley and see several of your friends from your English and composition class. They notice you immediately. "Hey, did you get your paper done?" "Well, not yet," you tell them. Some of the people in the group smile and laugh. "Yeah, we didn't get it done either. We're just going to take the late credit." You cross your arms. You do realize that late credit is half the score of the paper. The group doesn't seem affected by your comment. "Come on, you just need to chill out. Play some frames of bowling with us." "I'm sorry, I have to get this paper done," you tell the group. "Good luck." You walk on over back to the entrance of the entertainment room. So that's pretty much what's downstairs. We're going to make our way back to the main hall. So we found a beer glass bottle filled with water, which will help us at some point. Let's make our way to the dining room. "Nick, are you in here?" You make your way past several crowds and walk past the threshold to the dining room. Besides the usual invasion of solo cups, there's several buffet tables on both ends of the room, each serving their own choices. On one side, you see pancakes, eggs, waffles, French toast, bacon, hash browns, and cereal. There's even a fruit juice station filled with organic and tasty juices like orange, strawberry, and pineapple. On the other side of the room, you see roast chicken, steak sirloin, lobster, crab legs, and salmon. There's a Chinese station filled with fried rice, mandarin chicken, egg rolls, and fortune cookies. In the center of the room, there's an open bar. Most of the people in this room seem to have their attention on the open bar. Gurgle. You put your hand on your stomach. The sight of all this beautiful food makes you want to grab a plate really badly. On the other hand, you could sit at a nearby table and type another page of your paper. So there's a branching choice here that happens. If you grab a plate to eat, something could happen versus if you just type a page of your paper. Since we want a good grade, we're going to do that. But if you decide to play my story on the site, you can go ahead and do the opposite choice. There's funny things that happen either way. But yeah, let's just type the page. Laptop bag on your shoulder, you make your way to an empty corner of the room. Plugging in your laptop, you open the screen and start typing away. You manage to get a page going on in no time. When you lift your head, you see several chefs closing the dish platters. Ugh. You feel the rumbling of your stomach. Looks like you missed your chance at dinner for the night, but at least you got another page of your paper done. Getting up, you make your way out to the dining room. Pages increased by 1. So now we're at 5 pages. We are halfway done to finishing the paper. Halfway done. We're going to go up to the bathrooms. Pushing past the crowds upon crowds of people, you make your way up to the mansion's bathrooms. Maybe you could get a page of your paper done in the bathroom. After all, no one will bother you, and everyone will think you just have a stomachache. To your horror, a massive line is protruding from the doors. Someone even had the audacity to put a sign where you are standing, about a 1-hour wait for bathrooms. You look at your watch. There is no way that you were getting into that bathroom, at least at the state it's in right now. Unless you can figure out an alternate way. So there's a puzzle there that you have to solve. Let's go upstairs. Making your way past drunk couples, sleazy guys, and tipsy girls, you finally get up the stairs. You look both ways at 2 massive hallways with rooms. You see people waiting in line to get into the bedrooms. You decide to walk down one of the hallways, noticing a couple finally getting their room. Charlie, did you make sure to bring the clown costume I told you about? Yes, Elizabeth. Of course I brought it with me. I love our role plays. You are such a naughty guy. I love it. I love you. Love you too. They shut the door behind them. You find yourself very confused and grossed out at the same time. The thought of people taking turns to do stuff in these bedrooms just sounds like a health hazard. On the other hand, you could get a page done while in a bedroom by yourself. So we're going to do that and try to get a page done in one of the bedrooms. You approach a frat guy who seems to be guarding one of the bedroom doors. I'd like a bedroom for the hour, please. The frat guy crosses his arms. You don't even look like you're part of this frat. Of course I am, you lie, figuring that it could get you inside. What's the name of our Greek organization then? Uh-oh, you try to think back to the name of the Greek life group on campus. So if you weren't paying attention, you could get this wrong and fuck it up, and then you wouldn't get a page done. But if you remember the name of the Greek party we're at, it's Alpha Sigma Phi. Alpha Sigma Phi, of course, you confidently tell the frat guy. He appears to be impressed by your response. Head on inside. Actually, where's your partner? My partner? Aren't you going to use this room for stuff? You look at the frat guy and realize that he doesn't know that you're going to type a page of your paper in here. They're coming up here in a bit. Alright then. He closes the door behind him, leaving you alone. The bedroom is fairly nice. 1 king-size bed, a hot tub with warm water and bubbles. A flat-screen TV playing Food Network, of course. And a full bathroom. Food Network. What was I writing? Too bad you only have an hour. You quickly pull out your laptop and type a page of your paper in peace. Pages increased by 1. Time's up. The frat guy opens the door. He looks around. Looks like your partner didn't show up. You close your laptop. Yeah, I guess not. You leave the room and close the door behind you. You wish you had more time in that peaceful room. Well, at least you can try finding Nick and look for other opportunities to get your paper done. Pages should be 6. So we're really close. We're 4 pages away from finishing our paper. So we're going to go to the basement. You turn the corner and head downstairs to the lower level of the frat house mansion. Even in the lowest level of the house, the party is still as strong as ever. Candy Girl, Food Network is super sexy. It's only the best channel to have on while you're doing it. The basement of the mansion is a massive open layout featuring a sports bar, a hot tub area, several poker tables, a slot machine section, and a hookah lounge. This Greek mansion sounds ridiculous. All right, let's check out the hookah lounge. You walk over to the hookah lounge. A rather large group of people are sitting around the area. Each of them have broken up into smaller groups of 2 or 3, taking turns at smoking the vapors. The closer you get to the hookah, the smell of fruity scents fill the air. A rather large sound bass playing the techno music pierces your ears. Hey, aren't you the plumber at this party? A college frat guy nudges you in the shoulder. Confused, you clarify. What are you talking about? The college frat guy points at the plumber costume on a hook in the wall next to you. Oh, that's not mine. What? He shouts at you from the blaring music. That's not mine. What? You shrug your shoulders and nod. The frat guy smiles and walks away. What could you possibly do with a plumber costume? Maybe you should just leave it here. After all, this could be someone else's plumber costume. Hi, Magic. Pages is 6. So we're going to go ahead and take the plumber costume, and now we are a plumber. This unisex plumber costume is made to fit all. What do you need to plumb? Oh, God. Okay, so we're going to go back upstairs, and then we're going to go back to the bathrooms. So my inspiration for this puzzle was inspired by That's So Raven. It's a Disney Channel show back in the day, and one of the things I loved about Raven is that she would get herself into situations where she'd be in disguises, and the disguises that she would use to like solve like her own problems. So that was the idea that I had going into this puzzle, was that you had to disguise yourself as a plumber, kind of like That's So Raven. So there's a 1-hour wait for the bathrooms, and the only other way to get into the bathroom is to wear a plumbing disguise. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Plumber disguise costume in hand, you make your way aside so that no one can see you slipping it on over your clothes. In mere moments, you have transformed into a plumber. On your way back to the bathrooms, you check yourself out in the mirror. Uh-oh. Lined across the side of the costume is a Velcro opening. Clearly, this was meant to be a sexy plumber costume. It'll be a miracle if the people lined up at the bathroom believe you. Taking a deep breath, you make your way back to the bathroom line. You step in front of the door and block a rather tipsy girl from going inside. Ugh, what gives? You can't block me. I'm not up to flow. Oh my God, what was I thinking? The thought of blocking these people from going to the bathroom in order to do your paper feels devious. I'm sorry, I have to do bathroom maintenance. Where am I? Oh my God. Okay, I'm just gonna skip over that. Where am I gonna do some stuff then? The girl looks at you with a very angry face, the red eyes boiling. If she gets any closer, you fear that she might burn you. Well, there are bathrooms upstairs. The whole line turns around and darts for the stairs. Fine. You open the door and slide into the bathroom. Flipping on the light switch, you can see a tropical-themed room. On the walls, you see pictures of a resort called Paradise Place. The thought of being on vacation at somewhere so peaceful calms you down. You sit on the toilet and pull out your laptop. Occasionally, someone at the door will knock, and you'll respond to it with a, "Bathroom's out of order." Pages increase by 1. You've tortured these people enough. Closing your laptop, you put it back in your bag and head for the door. I'm just imagining like a stampede of people like just flooding the stairs to go to the bathrooms. You find yourself in the foyer. Okay, so we're back in the foyer again. The only other place we can do a page, we did the kitchen, we did the entertainment area, we did the bathrooms, we did the basement. So now let's just go to the backyard. You push past crowds and make your way to the backyard. Whoa! The backyard of the frat party mansion is huge. In front of you is a massive pool. People seem to be swimming, dancing, playing with beach balls, and getting drunk. People behind the pool, you can see the stage area for the robotic otters. The stage area is blocked by a fence, except for one area which is being guarded by a bouncer. A large sign in front of the entrance says, "Only people with drinks are allowed. Bouncer will check." You look around the backyard for Nick, but don't see any sign of him. Perhaps he made his way inside the concert. Either way, you'll have to go in there. Might as well figure out a way to go in. So we're going to go ahead and approach the bouncer. You walk over to the stage area and see a crowded line of people waiting to get inside. Should you make your way in line yet? So this is another important choice. Depending on your actions in the frat house, the next events will affect the story. Make sure you are ready before continuing into the concert. So, remember how I had the option of either using the glass bottle or using the solo cup? So if you use the solo cup, the bouncer will fill it with alcohol, and then your character will get drunk. But if you use the glass bottle, then you're able to slip on in sober. So we're gonna go ahead and do that for instead. So wait in line holding the beer bottle. Fake beer bottle in hand, you get into the line. The line moves fast enough that you barely need to check your phone for the time. "Where is your drink?" the bouncer asks as he looks down at your beer bottle. "It's right here." You show the glass bottle to him confidently. The bouncer crosses his arms. "Let me smell it." "Smell my drink?" The bouncer nods. "We can't have any fakers in here." Before you can do anything, the bouncer yanks the glass bottle from your hand. He smells the top of it and then takes his nose away. "Oh yes, this is definitely beer." He hands the bottle back to you and lets you inside. "Have a good time." Surprised, you smell the bottle yourself. It looks like those girls must have kept some beer inside the bottle or to fool the bouncer. Whatever they did, it worked. Time to find Nick. The massive Robotic Otters concert is amazing. You see people all over the place dancing, drinking, and jumping to the sound of the beat. You push past the crowds to get to a higher vantage point. Nick? Nick? It's no use. You can't find him or see him anywhere. Pulling out your phone, you try to check your Snapchat for a clue. New Snapchat from Nick. Touched of you now. You touch the Snapchat video and see Nick dancing near the back of the concert. He doesn't look too drunk, but that could just be the camera quality. You try to watch the Snapchat story again, but notice that he's near a Robotic Otters poster. You turn around and focus your eyes near the back of the concert area. Sure enough, you see a poster. Pushing past crowds upon crowds, you finally make it to the poster. You look around and don't see any sign of Nick. You sigh and sit down on a chair. "Hey, you finally made it!" You turn around and see Nick. He looks completely buzzed, but accept that given the strange price of admission. Oh, you accept that, that should have been an A. "Nick, I've been looking all over for you." "Good, because I've been, looking, I need to puke." Before you can do anything, Nick pukes on the floor in front of him. You figure that he is way too drunk to be at this concert. You grab Nick's shoulder and try escorting him out. "Wait!" Nick shouts before you leave. I want the poster." You turn around and look at the poster on Nick's chair. It's officially signed by the Robotic Otters. "Okay, I'll take the poster." "Don't forget it," Nick says as he stumbles forward. Well, so we're going to take the poster. And I think I just found a picture of an otter online and just put Robotic Otters on it. You head back over to the chair. The poster is sitting next to a group of people cheering for the Robotic Otters. So now we're going to go to the campus cafe. You find yourself at the campus cafe. Glancing at your watch, you read the time, 10 o'clock p.m. The cafe itself is pretty empty, save for a few groups of students in booths doing homework. Even the cafe staff are on their phones, waiting for customers. Let's check on Nick. "How are you holding up?" You look over at Nick. Ugh. Nick groans and puts his hands over his face. "That was some concert!" You nod at Nick's comment. "That was some party and concert. Thanks for inviting me." Nick looks up and glances at your laptop. "I'm glad that I got to spend the night with you. How's the paper coming along?" "It's not. At least not right now anyway." Nick puts his head down. "Why don't you work on it while I take a little nap?" You look over at Nick. He puts his head down on the cushion of the booth across from you. Nick does have a point. You pull out your laptop and start typing away. Pages increase by 2. So I think we're at 9 pages. Let me double check. Yeah, we're at 9 pages. "Hello everyone. We're sorry, but the cafe is closing tonight. You can all come back tomorrow in the morning at 7 a.m. when it opens." "Thank you." "Thanks." You get up from your chair. The time is 11 o'clock. "How are you going to get the paper done in less than an hour?" Nick gets up and the both of you stumble outside. "Now what am I going to do?" Nick looks at you reassuringly. "Well, maybe you should go back to your dorm." He's right. Peter, the RA, is probably going to be crazy if he finds out that you've been out this late since the power outage. So we can talk to Nick and say, "Do you think I could go back to your place, Nick, or I should go back to the dorm?" I forgot which one does what. I completely forgot. Oh no. I think if you go back to Nick's place, it does I think it just romances him again. So maybe you should try that. Nick's eyes widen. You'd want to head back to my place? Even after everything that's happened tonight? You nod. I'd love to. Nick puts his hand on your shoulder. Well then, your night is just about to begin. The two of you make it back to Nick's dorm. The room is dark. Looks like my roommates are still at the party. Come on, let's cuddle. Nick grabs you by the hand and drags you in bed with him. The two of you start kissing. That is, until Nick stops you. That was a preview. Now let's finish the paper. You sigh and pull out your laptop. Using every last bit of energy you have, you try typing the paper. Nick helps you out this time, and together you manage to finish another page. Pages increased by 1. Completely exhausted from the page, you glance at the time. 11:20 p.m. For an extra precaution, you try logging in to the student portal. Loading. No internet connection. You sigh and look at the bed. Nick! I need to get back to my dorm! What's wrong? You look at the Wi-Fi signal. There's no internet here! Nick looks at your laptop. That can't be right. He pulls out his phone and checks it. Huh. No Wi-Fi on my phone either. You start packing your things and head out as quickly as you can. Wait! What's up? Nick gets up from the bed and gives you a kiss. Let's postpone this for tomorrow night. It's a date, you tell him before making your leave. So we just romanced the hell out of Nick. Again. You make your way to the front of your dorm house. It looks like the power is back on. Opening the metal door, you step into the hallway. Peter, the RA, is here. Hello, Peter. Hey, it's my favorite person of the night. How's it going? I'm good. Just got back from the frat party. Peter sighs and sits on the ground. You mean the one with the robotic otters? I was supposed to go to tonight if it weren't for the power outage. I'm glad you got to have fun, though. That's all that matters. Yeah, I'm sorry, Peter. I have to finish my paper. Hope you have a good night. Peter gets up from the floor. You too. Good night. Good luck. Thanks, you tell him before closing your door. You let out a sigh of relief. So, if you decided to sneak out of the dorm and come back, Peter will be extremely angry at you and try to write you up. So, depending on your choices and the beginning of the story, that will affect your choices coming back to the dorm. So, if you decide you want to play my story on chooseyourstory.com and you want to be more interesting with your choices, that whole scenario will be completely different if you did something different. So, just putting it out there. Let's continue. Quickly, you plug your laptop into your desk and start typing away on your computer. As if a surge of energy pulsed through your body, you get your second wind and finish another page. Pages increased by 1. So technically we're at 11 pages, but it's going to be 10. You log into your student portal and go to the composition and rhetoric class page and finalize the paper. Pages is 10. Welcome to the student portal. Your document, reflection paper, was submitted. The paper is 10 pages. Thank you for using the student portal. We're going to close the laptop. You close your laptop and yawn so loudly, you feel as though the entire dorm could hear it. Oh, time to go to bed. Sliding out of your clothes and into your pajamas, you get into bed. Exhaustingly, you look out the window of your dorm and out at the moon. You feel so relieved that your paper is done and over with. Let's just hope the grade is good. Knock, knock. You get up and walk over to your dorm's door quietly and look through the peephole. Nick? You open the door. Nick is in the hallway. He's in his pajamas. I couldn't stand the thought of not cuddling with you tonight, especially after what we've been through earlier. Me too. Nick gives you a hug. You close the door and together the two of you get in bed. Did you ever get your paper done? Finished it. Good. Nick closes his eyes and wraps his arms around you. Exhaustingly, you look through the window of your dorm and out at the moon. You feel so relieved that your paper is done and over with. Let's just hope your grade is good. So Nick felt bad and he came to your dorm and you're cuddling with him up because he's just, a sweetheart. 1 week later. Since the night of your 10-page paper, things are rather peaceful. The homework in your classes are minimal. Your composition and rhetoric professor hasn't said a word about the paper. That is, until you go to the student portal notification a week later. Hello class, your papers have been graded. If you have any further questions, feel free to contact me via email. You hold your breath and log in to the student portal. Welcome to the student portal. Assignment reflection paper has been graded. Click below to see the grades. Oh my god, I feel like I'm in college again, logging into my own student portal and seeing my grades. Ugh, I used to have so much anxiety from this in college. C grade. You guys ready? Are you all ready? Your grade is an A. Great job. Woo! Woo! We got an A. A little after you check your grade, you decide to meet Nick in the cafe for breakfast. Promise me you won't procrastinate papers anymore, Nick smiles at you. I promise. The both of you laugh it off. Nick takes a bite of his scrambled eggs. He then turns to you. Hey, I almost forgot. Do you by any chance have my robotic otters poster? You don't remember emptying your backpack, so it must be in there. If it's in there at all. Let me check. Important choice. Depending on your actions earlier in the story, you may or may not have come into possession with Nick's poster. So you can actually lose the poster, and I won't explain how you lose the poster, but there is a very crazy way that you can lose the poster depending on your choices in the story. But we're going to go ahead and give him the poster. You give Nick the robotic otters poster from your bag. He snatches it and unfolds the poster. It's so beautiful. Thank you for taking care of it for me. You're welcome. Nick smiles and puts the poster away. Since you managed to get a good grade on the paper, you ended up finishing the class with a solid A. You feel very accomplished for performing such a feat, especially after how crazy that night was. Ever since that night, you also no longer procrastinate your homework and papers. Nick helps you all along the way. Speaking of Nick, so this is like the epilogue which tells you your situation with Nick, and we unlocked the boyfriend ending. Ever since that night, you realize that Nick and you actually have some great chemistry together. You decide to make things official with him. Things have been really great so far. You only hope that things continue that way. So we unlocked the romantic Nick ending, and he ended up our boyfriend at the end of the story. So we got a happy ending with Nick. Welcome to the choices screen. This is an overview of the choices you made while playing before midnight. Feel free to copy and paste your choices, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so 0 means we did not choose that choice, and 1 means we completed that choice. So these are think of like the Nancy Drew achievements, but this is more like an event screen. Night vision. You stayed in the dorm when the power went out, 1 of 1. So this was like an achievement we got for staying in the dorm at night. Honesty is the best policy. You told Nick the truth about not finishing your paper, 1 of 1. The DD, designated driver. You did not get drunk at the Alpha Sigma Phi fraternity party, 1 of 1. RA's pet. You did not get in trouble with Peter when coming back to your dorm, 1 of 1. Robotic Otters fan. Nick got to keep his Robotic Otters poster in the end, 1 of 1. Early bird. You submitted your paper in on time, 1 of 1. So the way my story works is that if you get all these achievements, if you get every single achievement in my story, then you unlock the secret ending. Otherwise, the story just ends. So because we got 10 pages and we got all of the achievements, so night vision, honesty's best policy, the DD, RA's pet, Robotic Otters fan, and early bird, we can now read the secret ending. Friday night, 1 week before, Professor Blake's apartment, 11:55 p.m. So this is a different character. This is Professor Blake, who assigned the paper. With a cup of peppermint tea in hand, Professor Blake finds himself sitting at his desk, overlooking his laptop. The computer is set on the student portal website. Honey, why don't you come to bed? I'm almost done, Ashley, just watching my students as they submit their papers. Blonde hair and green eyes, Ashley saunters into the room. Putting a reassuring hand over her husband, she caresses his cheeks. So, it's true then? Professor Blake's eyes narrow. What's true? Professors intently look at their laptops late at night to check for the submissions of their students, all for fun. Professor Blake takes a sip of his tea. Well, I wouldn't say for fun. Then what else is keeping you up? Ashley asks as she looks at the portal. Professor Blake puts his mug of tea down. He throws his hands up in the air. All right, you caught me red-handed. I can't resist. I knew it. I knew all along. You have new submissions. The student portal notification arises. My favorite part. Professor Blake looks at his screen. It's almost better than fireworks. Ashley looks at the screen, watching the number go up. I'll never understand professors. Good night, honey. Professor Blake smiles. I think about that every day of my life. Good night. The end. Congratulations on finding the secret ending. Below is a profile sticker that you can save to your computer or smartphone as proof that you completed the story. Thank you for playing, and don't forget to leave a rating and comment. And this is just a little Photoshop I did of a blank mug saying, Ultimate Procrastinator, awarded for finding the secret ending before midnight. Then it just redirects back to the choices screen, and that's the end of the story. So I'm gonna go ahead and hide that for a second. And for those of you that want to play the story for yourselves, go to chooseyourstory.com. It's called chooseyourstory.com, all one URL. and it's /story/before midnight. If you would, I'll go ahead and copy it onto the chat and paste it in there. There we go. So if you would like to read my story and make different choices, you are more than welcome to do so and make some crazy fun choices. Just because I got the good ending doesn't mean that there are other endings you can get. So like when I design my own choose your own adventure stories, I don't really go with the idea of like, there's 20 endings, there's 50 endings. I don't do that. What I do is I do smaller choices that make bigger impacts. So you're only getting like 3 or 4 or 5 like big choices, and those big choices can severely affect how the story gets told and what happens at the end. So that's kind of like what I do with my choose your own adventure stories. I have several more that I'm going to be reading, but they're going to be once a week, probably every Saturday afternoon. And yeah, like I said, just go to Before Midnight on the Choose Your Story website. It's my username on Before Midnight. My username is not Italian Gamer Joe. It's actually Aptu27 on this website. I might request to have it changed, but I just want to say thank you to everybody that took the opportunity to sit here and listen to me narrate my own audiobook of Before Midnight. It's only available on this website, and it's completely free. If you are interested in reading it and checking it out, I left the URL in the chat. And once again, thank you all so much for taking the time to listen and check out my story. If at any point you want to go on YouTube and re-listen to it, you're more than welcome to. I will be uploading this audiobook narration to YouTube as well. This is a story that I wrote. This was my own personal story that I wrote back in 2015, and since then it's been played 25,701 times. I still cannot believe it's been played that many times. But thank you all so much again for taking the time to watch me, and if at any point you'd like to listen to the story again, you're more than welcome to. I do have other choose your own adventure stories that I have on this website and that I will be reading once a week. The reason why I'm doing this one more time is just because I love reading. Reading is one of my favorite hobbies, and I want to be able to share my love for reading on my Twitch streams and, create more content and show more content and help create more positivity for things besides playing video games. That video games can be different forms. They can be, Nintendo Switch, PC, but they can also be like choose your own adventure stories. One of my favorite genres of stories are choose your own adventure stories. So anyway, I hope you all have a great day. I will be streaming later this evening. I don't know what I'm going to play yet, but I will be streaming later this evening. Once again, for everybody in the chat, thank you for showing up, for having some fun listening to my content. I'm going to go ahead and see if I can raid someone and see who's online right now. Let's see. Who do I want to raid? Yeah, let's raid Pino. He sounds kind of cool. He's a cool guy. We'll go ahead and raid him the raid. Hope you have a great day, and I will be online later. Once again, thank you so much for checking out my content, and hope to see you all next time. And thank you so much for being in here. I'm gonna go ahead and get this raid started now. Okay, cool.